Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our Monday morning meditation. So good to see you all. Even if I'm only seeing your names up there, I feel your presence and I'm just so glad to be with you today. We are continuing our look at the meditation booklet by Jane Elizabeth Hart of Center for Enlightenment. Meditation, your key to accessing universal consciousness. You see, I have my post-it note for today. There's a couple of different questions, not side by side, so I'm skipping around a little bit. If you're following along in the meditation booklet, I'll be skipping around today, but these two questions and answers talk about really finding our anchor. That's what we call it in mindfulness. In the therapy world, when we're working with mindfulness, we call it our anchor. It's that which we bring our minds back to. And a lot of times during our time together, I've used our heart center as our groundedness place, our anchor to bring our minds back to, just bringing it to resting in that heart center. That's what works for me. But today we're going to talk about some other ideas for an anchor for you, because that may not be resonating with you. And our meditation time, there is no one way to meditate. The most important thing about your meditation time is you. So as long as you are there, you are showing up for your commitment to yourself to meditate, then you're good. Anything else doesn't matter as long as you are there. So that said, an anchor is helpful to really help still the mind, quiet the mind, just giving the mind-body system a break from the busyness of our everyday lives and tuning into that peace, that natural state of peace that is within you. So one of the questions that we're talking about today is, what are some practical tools I can use to still my mind? And she talks about a mantra. A mantra can help you focus your thoughts and quiet your mind. And a mantra is a word or a phrase which you repeat so your mind can focus with less effort. Some people prefer listening to music or listening to the sounds of nature. And sometimes it's nice to have a few different tricks in our bag for meditation and for stilling the mind. So a mantra, a word or a phrase. I like to use sometimes the word peace. I know when we've worked with our breath, we've used the mantra that I learned from Mooji, Mooji, who has meditations online, which is pure air in, everything else out. Just feeling that breath coming in through your center. We've used it with our heart center, but you can use it if you have a uncomfortable place in your body. You can use that mantra to just let that pure air in, everything else out, right through the discomfort. And it doesn't necessarily make the discomfort go away, but it helps bring some peace around having to carry that discomfort. Some people like listening to music. We are doing essentially guided meditations during our Monday time. There are lots of guided meditations online. That's nice if you're extra auditory, and being able to turn off your mind and listen to somebody else talking is a nice focus. It's again, getting yourself out of your own mind. Even though you're listening to somebody else's voice, it's helping to guide you and center you and calm you. Music is another one. I'm not auditory. I'm more kinesthetic. I feel things in my body. That's why I like focusing on my heart center. I'm also very visual. And so when, we did an open-eyed meditation earlier this year, and sometimes it's hard to close the mind down when our eyes are open, because we're always thinking about things and our eyes are always moving around. But having a single focus, some people like looking at the flickering of a candle flame. So that's another way to have a visual. There was one time where I had a period of time where I would light a candle next to me and just have it there. So when my thoughts would come to my mind, I would visualize myself just letting them burn up in that flame. And, it's kind of like the visualization of the clouds, our thoughts being clouds in the sky that we're just not going to, there's nothing for us to do with those thoughts. They're just moving through like like clouds in the sky. So think about what holds your attention the most, whether it's a visualization, something auditory, music. Sometimes it's nice to let yourself get lost in the soft meditation music. There's different types of megahertz and all of that. I don't really understand any of that, but I use it sometimes because I can feel that it's doing something that's helping me relax and focus. Um, or if you're more tactile and kinesthetic, if you need, putting your hand on your heart can be helpful. Sometimes any body part that is neutral. Sometimes in our heart center, we may be experiencing a lot of emotion around something. So focusing on the heart just kind of revs us up instead of has that soothing effect. So think of a different part. When I might have mentioned this before. I talk about it a lot, so I don't remember where I mentioned it. But when I use the tool called brain spotting in my practice, which is a whole long story, different story, but part of what we do sometimes is we find a calm, grounded, or neutral place in the body. And when somebody can't feel that, where everything's too agitated or everything is kind of shut down, what we do is we focus on something that's neutral, like an ear. There's not usually, unless you're a wrestler or, I know when I was a kid, I had lots of ear infections. So focusing on my ear for me isn't calming. It kind of brings up all those memories from having ear infections all the time. But for most people, our ears are pretty neutral and nondescript. So if you're having trouble finding a neutral place in your body or a center, just let your attention be on your ear. Just sit there and hang out with it. Nothing's going on there. For 99% of the people, nothing's going on with the ears. So we just sit there. Another place can be a toenail, which seems very silly when I say it out loud. But if you just let yourself focus on pick a toenail, maybe it's your big toe, and just pick that toenail. Don't pick the toenail, but think about it and let your attention be on that toenail and just watch what happens in your mind-body system. You'll find that, as your energy is your attention, right? Your attention is your energy. And so as your attention is on that toenail, it kind of pulls all your energy to that place and pulls it out of your head and out of the rest of the body and down more grounded into where your feet are at the time. So there's lots of different options that we have. Today we're going to work with a mantra because that's what we're working with in our meditation booklet. There's another question too. Let me see if I want to take time to do that. It really says the same thing. So what specific things should I do when I meditate? You don't need to use any particular rituals when you meditate. If you relax, easily listening to music, do that. You may choose to sit quietly and pay attention to your breathing. You could even use a special word, phrase, or mantra that centers your mind. Find whatever style feels right for you and keep it simple. Again, the most important thing about your meditation time is you. So everything else is just learning what helps you focus and center. So let's today work with a mantra, and let's use the one that we've been using with that pure air in, everything else out. And if that's too busy, that's a pretty long one. Sometimes I use the word peace or just silence in my meditation time. So you can tune me out and pick whichever word or phrase works for you today. So I invite you, if you're not already comfortable in your seats, to let yourself be positioned physically so that you can just relax and let go of your body. And let your breath be not too deep right now, but just a little deeper than usual, and then we'll let it return to its natural rate. Just breathing in, let that breath come and fill the belly. And breathe out. letting that calm breath relax your body more and more. Let your breathing return to its natural rate. Just calm, no thought, just letting it do its job. And I invite you to give your mind something to focus on. Perhaps it's my voice today. Perhaps it's your breath. Perhaps it helps to find a place in your body where there are just no sensations. If you have something visual you want to focus on, do that. You have a candle in front of you or a picture of a spiritual inspiration. Some people like pictures of sunset on a beach. Again, it doesn't matter, just whatever helps you focus. Remain calm and allow yourself to move more deeply into that quiet, still, natural state. And I'm changing my mind right now as we're centering ourselves together. And I'm just going to use the word peace as our mantra today, just to try out something different and less active. So just let that word peace dispel thoughts as they arise. I'm going to repeat this word several times for a while, and then I'll give it more space in between. But I invite you to use it within yourself as needed. So feel that grounded place within you and reaffirm peace, 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 peace. 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 peace, peace, and peace. Just feel into that today, that word peace, or perhaps there's another that came up for you today that's more helpful. As we work with a mantra for some time, it becomes just a wonderful button we can push within ourselves that brings us to that stillness more quickly. The mind, brain can get so busy and entangled with our goings on in the world, sometimes necessarily, sometimes very unnecessarily. And it's our job to bring ourselves back to our grounded place within that says to all the thought children, okay, be quiet, be quiet. Just need to take a moment. Resolve any issues from a quiet place, not a busy place. So I invite you to work with a variety of tools this week. If you want to continue with a mantra, a word, or a phrase, if that's helpful to you, just pick one and try it for the week. Or if what you've discovered today is that a mantra doesn't work very well for you, then wonderful, you have learned something valuable. And go with what was working for you more. But it's all about whatever tool you're using, music, guided meditation, your breath, feeling your heartbeat. It's all about you being present with yourself and stilling the mind from it going all over the place. Just being. So whatever gets you there is worth continuing with. So I will end our time together today, but I invite you to continue with your meditation time just where you are, and most definitely tune into that space every day this week. So thank you for being here, and I look forward to our time again together next week. Bye-bye.